Hello and welcome to our podcast, Cozy Conversations with the Sister Project. I'm Lauren. And I'm Michelle. And we're so excited you stopped by for a visit. Come on in. Yeah, make yourself at home. We're two Midwestern sisters who love a good old-fashioned conversation and enjoy sharing our life experiences with one another and you. Consider this your one-stop shop for cozy, mindful well-being, along with some entertainment and lots of wheezy laughing. Oh, you bet there'll be a lot of that going around. Our goal is to live our coziest life and inspire you to do the same because the truth is, we think it's good for your mind and your body. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, let's get cozy. Well, hi there. Hello, and welcome to Cozy Conversations with the Sister Project. I am your host, Lauren Massarella, and let's welcome my other host, Michelle.
Hey,
I wanted to change it up a little bit.
Thank you so much. Wow, welcome. Thank you.
How are you on this fine Monday morning? Best
I'm
way to
great.
start the day is behind the mic with you.
And
And best way to start the week.
I love our new schedule. This kicking off the beginning of a work week, connecting with you and having a cozy conversation. Cup runneth over. Cup runneth over. Cozy
you
cup
guys,
runneth over.
We have a really great episode for you today. We're covering, it's a banger. We're covering a lot of ground. And before we hop into today's episode, we have a few announcements. Michelle, why don't you take it away? I know you've got a pigs announcement and we have a new Anchor subscriber.
Yes, very important stuff here, folks. Let's start with the pigs. The pigs are gigging again at Peggy Canane's this Saturday for St. Patrick's Day. Never done a St. Patrick's Day gig. I kind of feel like
a hoot.
Feel like we've kind of made it. Yeah.
It's going to be insane. I feel like people love St. Patrick's Day here in Chicago.
They sure do. So if you are trying to find a venue to go have some boiled meat and take in some live music, Irish music and otherwise, well, you have to look no further because the pigs will be playing there. Peggy Canane's, we are starting, I think, at 8. So see you
that's
there.
In Arlington Heights.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And then we want to say thank you to a new subscriber. And we've shared this before, but just in case you missed that share, we have the option, you listener have the option to support our podcast by going through Anchor. It's a link in our show notes and picking one of the 3 options to show some love to the Sister Project, to Cozy Conversations with the Sister Project. And we would like to thank our new subscriber, Michelle, may I?
Yeah, go for it.
Allison Riggs.
Allison,
what did it? What was it for you that said, you know what, I want to throw a couple bucks their way?
Totally. I would love to know.
I'd love to know because you know what? I mean, that's a commitment. That is and it's also like, you're making the decision to say, you know what? I'm going to take a couple bucks each month and throw them over to the Sister Project. Thank you so much, Allison. And as we always say, any dollar coming in, especially via Anchor, goes right back into our podcast. So it helps just keep this show running smoothly, pay some bills, some of our hosting site bills and whatnot. Allison, we love you. Thank you for your listenership. Nipple tweak or closed mouth kiss? Which one do you want?
No, I like an open mouth for this one.
Oh, you want open mouth?
We're going
open. Open mouth. Okay. Well, I was giving her the option, but since
she doesn't get the option, I'm going to tell her what she's getting. It's going to be an open mouth, tongueless kiss.
Oh my God, sick.
So creepy. And she's going to cancel that subscribership.
Kisses without the tongue. Just open mouth, like opening your mouth.
Movie stars.
I'm not into it.
When they're kissing on screen, there is no tongue.
I mean, it
depends on what kind of movie you're watching.
I don't need like the tongue. I just what are we doing here? Just open.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. Go on. Continue on.
You guys. All right. Thank you so much, Allison. If you too would like to show some love for Cozy Convos, just hop over into the show notes where you can find that link. And we would love you for it. And we are so grateful. So thanks you guys for press and play today. Do us a favor and share this episode with your person in the life that loves the Oscars. Because obviously we covered the Oscars. If you have an Oscars junkie, just listen, copy, paste, write in their text. Okay. We love you. Stay cozy. Enjoy the episode. Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning. What do you got in there? What are you drinking?
My instant coffee with you know what I'm going to say now? A spot of milk.
Oh, a spot. What are you, from Britain?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm drinking a matcha latte today.
How are you preparing it?
I have more than a spot of whole milk and a little bit of honey in there.
Yeah. So we're both rocking whole milk.
Yeah, we are. I mean, and finally, my friends over at Blackberry Market, they understand now that I've changed, and I've told them, we're allowed to change our mind.
Why were they having difficulty going from oat
they're like,
to
hang
whole?
on a second. Did you say whole milk? And I said, yes, guys, I am done with the oat.
Oat is so good though. Wait, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Have I shared here on the podcast about my obsession with Sumo oranges and Trader Joe's Greek yogurt? The combination. I shared it
Sometimes
on Instagram.
I get confused between what we share on Instagram. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Okay, well, I have to change your life right now. And listener, I'm going to change your life as well. We once did a whole episode on Sumo oranges. Like, I think it was like episode 7.
Really?
So don't go looking for it. No, but we did do a whole episode on why they're called Sumo and yada, yada, yada. But you're familiar with the Sumo oranges, right?
Yeah.
Has a big ass nipple.
Yeah. And people think that it's like an old orange and it's just like actually amazing.
Well, like 3 or 4 years ago, I just randomly bought one. I'm like, oh my God, holy shit, this is the best orange I've ever had. Have you ever had them?
I get them all the time.
Okay. So you know exactly how
they
good
are. The best orange. They're juicy and delicious.
It's not like you can't, it's one of those like, don't judge a book by its peel
it's like an imperfect looking fruit. Like you look at it and you think it wouldn't be amazing.
The nipple makes it nice to kind of chunk,
Well, personally, I think that's what's the best part about it. Aside from the flavor, it's
easy to peel.
So easy to get inside that deliciousness.
And don't be, for people who are like, because we have people on Instagram who've like, I've seen them. I never go near them, but don't be even like turned off by if they're like kind of soft, because it's almost like it has a soft outer layer, and on the inside is that beautiful
fruit, that is
juicy fruit. Well, let me tell you something. Go to
juicy fruit is gonna move ya. It gets so soft and gets right to you. Remember that gum lasted about 2 seconds when you chew on it.
Just dancing. I was not expecting. I haven't heard that song in so long.
Well, leave it to me.
Juicy
sweetie.
fruit, yeah. That and that zebra one, so gross.
Horrible.
Okay,
horrible.
But listen, go to Trader Joe's and get their Greek yogurt, whole fat, just their regular go-to.
Agree.
And then take your Sumo slices and like drag them in, like dip them and drag them in your yogurt and have a bite, and you're going to squirt. It's one of the best combinations I've ever come up with.
I mean, I've never I never ever would have thought to do that.
But it's two of my favorite things. So I was like, what are they like together? I love that. That's my favorite yogurt. It's the only yogurt we get. Do you ever get that yogurt?
The only one we get.
It's so good. It's so
Lauren,
creamy.
Basically whatever you say, I do. And I feel like if I on occasion find something good, you're like, oh, I'm obsessed with that too. So my question is though, are you using the fruit as the vehicle, the vessel, the dipper? It's like your fruit chip and your dip.
Exactly. Typically I would like cut up fruit and put it in my yogurt, make like a parfait, but this is like a dipper that'll do.
Oh, like, a dipper. Whoa.
Dip, drag, and eat.
Oh, a dip, drag, and eat is what we're doing here.
Dip, drag, and eat. It is so good.
Love it. I made a dip last night.
Tell me.
Different than anything you'd make. And let me tell you what.
Was there like a load of cream cheese in there?
Basically. I mean, my family, I was like, what am I going to make tonight? Because I was like feeling sort of lazy, but my family needed some nourishment. And by nourishment, I just mean a home cooked meal, not necessarily a nourishing meal.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a taco dip. Just put it out.
Oh, I love a good taco dip.
Yeah.
Was this like a 7-layer taco dip?
Kinda. It was like the base layer was a bean spread, like a refried bean.
Sure.
And then I did a bit of a mixture with a little sour cream, a little mayo, and some taco seasoning. And I was thinking last night how I could have modified that
cottage cheese
to make it healthier. Cottage cheese
and taco dip. Or taco.
Maybe even Greek yogurt. I don't know if that would work on there.
Oh, maybe even a combination of the two, a little tart. And okay.
And then on top I did like sliced tomato. And what the hell else did I put on there? I can't remember.
Black olives, chives. Yeah.
And it was delish, but it was like delish with tortilla chips and delish. It's a throwback. And Will was like, make that every day.
I love a good taco salad or taco dip. And I would eat that. I'm not really into mayo.
whatever. I would totally eat that. And some people put ground beef on it, which is a turnoff for me, but yum.
Or like you could do like shredded lettuce and like really make it like almost like a
Taco Bell taco.
Yeah, totally.
Try I'll
so funny. You're dipping oranges and
yogurt,
and I'm making.
Cannot get enough. Okay, wait, real quick. So last week we were talking, I was calling you and with a little health anxiety. Remember, I was like, oh my God, Michelle, Michelle told me after I have Luna, well, she would say to me, oh my God, I'm having the worst ovulation cramps. And I was like, what in the world? Never had those before. But last week, I've started to get them.
Unbelievable.
And I feel like you said mom told you after kids, you have crazy ovulation cramps. And now I am experiencing the same thing. Painful. Feels like, and you asked me if it gives me bad gas.
Extreme gas. And you said yes. And I think that the ovulation cramps after childbirth.
What is it?
I think it's nature's way of letting the woman know. This is again, because some people could have children
I know what you're
in their early years, but I'm saying this is nature's way of saying you could get pregnant right now 100% because we want you to feel your follicles are blasting out some eggs. But if you don't want to get pregnant, stay away from the penis until
it's almost
that
like, nature's
passes.
And your body's way of saying like, this is the time. And what's so funny about that is why couldn't I have that gift of pain before when I couldn't get pregnant, when I had no fucking clue when Lauren, or how I was ovulating.
It's funny. I also experienced those same wonders. But now let me tell you what I'm experiencing. I've been talking to all of my perimenopausal friends. I have been asking, my boob tenderness before my period is akin to what it felt like when I was a 14-year-old.
Like, and your boobs
it felt
were just
like somebody was speed bagging my titties and they hurt. Literally, I feel like I have to carry them to release some of the pain from the heaviness and the PMS symptom. I'm like, is this like a late in life? It's like a final, like, you only got a few more regular periods. So we're going to really make sure you feel
That's so interesting. I need to find a doctor who can be my like general practitioner, but also who is well versed in perimenopause and menopause, because I've been seeing people like on Facebook groups being like, hey, you guys, I'm looking for a doctor. My doctor doesn't really know anything about menopause. I'm like, why? How are you treating women if you don't know anything about perimenopause and menopause? Because there's so many, I feel like there's like a host of things that happen to our body that can be explained through perimenopause or menopause. And when you go to these doctors, they're like, oh, you're fine. It's no big deal. And then you realize like years later, oh, there's something more I could have done.
Yep.
We're going to talk. Why are we such a mystery?
Lauren, we're going to talk about it a little later because I'm sharing a book that I'm listening to right now. And it's also a mind-blowing thing where it's like, why are we paying attention to certain levels when we should be asking for and paying attention to these specific precursors that could be the big preventer or the storyteller of your health situation.
Okay, amazing. Okay, we'll wait. Then we'll have more discussion on that. A little catch up here. I went to, I had 2 firsts last week, and so did you. You had a first. Well, you paddleball.
I paddled.
How was it?
First time. It was so fun, and I get the hype. I've never played pickle. I've never played paddle. Will's friends' mom reached out to the boys' moms and said, hey, do you guys want to come? There's a park in Hinsdale called Catherine Legge. And in Catherine Legge, the Hinsdale Paddle Association has built paddle courts and like a little, like a little house. What do they call it? Like a warming house or a clubhouse where you can hang,
clubhouse,
whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And it's as easy as just picking up a paddle and going out there, and you learn. It's like a cross between ping pong and tennis. I like,
and not pickleball.
No, I don't know the differences between the two. All I know is I got my body moving. I laughed really hard. No, it's fun.
It's fun.
It's really fun.
But there's no table. Is there a table?
There's a small, it's like a miniature tennis court. And you literally set up like you're playing doubles. But
ping pong, there's a table, but there's no table in paddleboard.
No, you're standing on a ground and you're playing with a ball. Yes.
There's
very
so
fun.
Many different
highly recommended. So many, paddles. But I'm here for like that social. I'm so over the first option being something surrounding alcohol.
Sure.
Like I love this like idea of like going and socializing and doing something like this. And that's what I think I am attracted to, is another option to go like move your body, but also be social.
Totally. Okay. Well, I can relate to that because last week,
let's hear it.
I kind of had the same experience. Like I got myself doing a couple things I've never done before, and it had nothing to do with drinking, but it was like social. So the first thing I did, I finally took my first archery lesson, and
you're Katniss now?
I have never felt more in my power.
Oh my God.
Listen, if the end of the world begins to just happen, I got bows, I got an arrow, we're good.
You can just kill your food and your enemies.
I'm kind of good, dude.
Shut up.
Good. Yes. And here's the thing. When I took a couple lessons and kind of like fucked around with them at Camp Wandawega last year, I didn't feel like I was good. I just felt like there was potential, and I felt like it was so fun, and it's challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also learned it's not always about hitting the bullseye.
That was my next question.
Okay. So I totally hit it a couple times, but my instructor,
brag about it.
I know I can't. Well, listen, you know what I wrote about in the newsletter? I'm like, I wrote the words, I'm good at it. Because I think we should be mindful of what we're good at. And we don't ever say that. We don't say like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm good at it. When I talk about teaching yoga, I'm a good teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're a good singer. And I feel like we sell ourselves short.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with us? Why wouldn't we say we're good at something?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I think we're so modest. It's like, it's okay to be good at something.
Brag about it.
Well, you don't have to be an asshole.
No, but why not? Share your talents.
I agree. So something really interesting. So if you think about shooting a bow and arrow, you hold your bow and you pull the arrow back. Well, when you pull the arrow back, you are, when you pull the arrow back where you're holding the string, you basically tuck your thumb to, like, you make the number 3. So you take your thumb and you put it on top of your pinky nail.
Oh, and wasn't that also?
But you're left-handed, right?
So I am dominant right. I only write with my left hand. I would be a right-handed bower.
Perfect. And then you take your 3 fingers and you pull them all the way back when you pull the string back. But here's such an interesting detail. You take your index finger and it touches your crease, the edge of your mouth. And when you have that like C shape, make the letter 3, the number 3 again. You want to cup your hands around your chin and jawline. Your hand is literally touching your face. Yes. Well, your elbow is aligned with your shoulder. And another thing is, and that's how far back you are. Literally, your hands touching your face as you pull the bow back. Oh my
God! Thank you, Pocahontas.
There's a lot. You're so welcome. There's a lot of I feel like there's a little bit of there's a lot of mindfulness, and I take a lot of my yoga experience into this space because you have to be super aware of your body, where your alignment is, and our instructor taught us too how, like, instead of just going for the bullseye, then he would do groupings. He'd be like, okay, he put a silver paper plate, and he'd pin it on your target somewhere. And then you'd want all of your arrows. So that it could be,
so it was kind of moving. Oh, that's super
and he calls
cool.
it grouping. It's called grouping your arrows. It's just phenomenal. And what's super, super cool about it too, when you're in the, I don't know what you call it, but it's called the Northside Archery Club. When you're in the club, you work on a whistle system, and the whistles, they train you and you listen to the whistles. And those are your cues when you can either pick up. I'm Michelle. I'm a Girl Scout, basically. Okay. I'm a woman scout.
Super fun.
It's so cool, Michelle. You got to come with me one day.
That sounds so fun.
The first whistle, like beep, it's like in his pocket. It's like a, whistle sound. You can pick up your bow. And the second, then there's 2 whistles, like, boop, boop.
Oh my God, this is like Captain Von Trapp running an archery class.
It is. It's Sound of Music. And then the 2 whistle blows, you get to pick up and prepare to shoot. So you grab your bow and your arrow and you set up and you can start shooting. And then when you're done shooting your arrows, you come back behind the line. And then the 3 whistle blows, you are all allowed to go and retrieve your arrows, which there's a special way to pull.
That's the all clear. Got it.
It is so I can't express how much fun I had. I was standing there with three other individuals, like in the same-ish age range, maybe like between like 30 and 40, who just wanted to learn how to shoot
something new. They just wanted to learn something new.
It was a couple. And then there was a woman standing next to me. And I was like, how did you get into this? She's like, my freaking cousin or niece, I can't remember what she said, does it in high school. And she's like, and she took me out into the, like outside to show me her shooting. She was like, oh shit, I am into this. So she found an archery club.
Fucking cool. Learning new things is cool. And I think that this should be a call to action to you, listener, to what are you going to learn? What are you going to do that you've never done before?
Bucket list, 100%. Yeah. And that's what I wrote about in our newsletter this past week. Was like, what are we waiting for? Just do it. And even like, I went by myself, and I'm much more comfortable socially by myself now going into things. I felt so comfortable. I get a little nervous walking into environments where I don't know anybody.
Okay.
Nobody, like a zero, I get like a little, moving on. The other first thing that we did this past week, and when I say we, it was my friend Maggie and I, we went to our first like official women's circle. Have you ever hear about this in a women's circle before?
No, because I did see a little bit on Instagram of what you guys were doing. So that gave me an idea of what this looked like. But I did not know that you guys were all physically going to be sitting in a circle.
Oh, it's a healing circle. It's a talking circle. It's a community of women. Yes. So I was invited by our friend Ashley Logan, who is the CEO of Yakety Yak, which is like a marketing and branding company. She helped us way back when. She helped us, and she gave
taught us about our buckets.
Man. Yeah, buckets.
Taught us about our brand pillars. Thanks.
Brand pillars. Thanks, Ashley. And she's still is the CEO and runs her company. But over the years, she has felt a calling to.
That's what I love about her.
Yeah, she felt this calling to like start creating these circles and get women together and talk and understand about one another. And so Maggie and I arrive, and it was, again, had I gone by myself, I would have been fine. But 5 years ago, I probably would have had anxiety. I would have to like breathe in the car before. And I don't know what it is now. I just maybe more comfortable in just myself. And we arrive, and she had a lovely spread of food. Shout out to the patio. Do you remember the patio?
Yeah.
They were like the Greek potatoes. It was so good.
Yum.
Yep. And so we just kind of mingled with some new women we've never met before. We sat and ate with some people, and then it was time to sit in the circle, and it was a legit circle. And in the middle were like candles and crystals and like dried flowers. And Ashley was like to my left, and Maggie and I sat next to one another, and we pulled cards. We pulled like little cards, and each card was some sort of I think they were like goddesses of, and mine was like
tarot cards. You're saying
kind of, but not tarot cards, but yes, they from a card deck.
Okay,
and Maggie got the best one. Maggie got Gaia, which is like Mother Nature, which is Earth, and that is just like so. You introduced yourself. You say what cards you got, and then you can kind of just say a little bit about yourself, whatever you want to do. And then when it was my turn. What happened when it was my turn is that I forgot to say, I actually remembered to say that I'm a mom and my daughter is Luna, because I often forget to do that.
I forgot that the last time we were together at a sort of a circle.
This time I forgot to say like what I do for a living. Subconsciously, but don't worry, I handed out all of my business cards to these wonderful women at the end. But there was something subconsciously too, the reason why I did that. And I did that purposely because I'm just kind of playing with the idea that I'm not just a job, that I'm not just I am a podcaster or content creator, or it is so much of who I am. But I was just taking it out of the equation for a moment for this particular setting, because I wanted to, it was just
lead with something else.
Yeah. Lead with something else. And I don't typically lead. There's that little, my little banshee, and Anthony's going, shh.
Insane, which that never works.
And I don't usually lead with I'm a mom. And I was trying to feel, what does that feel like to say that out loud? So it was interesting. I sat with that a little bit. And then we went around in a circle. I'm not going to share the details of what anyone said, obviously, because I want to respect everyone's privacy. But the two questions that we were asked that Ashley led us through were the first of all, we went around maybe 13 to 15 women. Afterwards, Ashley led us through a conversation. The first question is, what And this was, of course, in celebration of Women's Day and, of course, International Women's History Month. And her question was, what are you celebrating about being a woman or about women? My answer to that was, the book, The Women by Kristen Hanna. I'm really thinking a lot about women that we don't know who played major roles into where we are now. They have no names. They're just women that went out, did really brave things. And it could be anything it could be anything that they've done. So I've been thinking a lot about like people who've done really incredible things up until this point that we know nothing about. Luna. And then when I was wrapping that up, I was thinking like, I feel like we're all trying to do amazing things. Like we're all trying to like, write that book or publish that song, whatever it might be. And I said out loud, and I wanted to bring it here because I think it's important for our listeners to remember that we all are doing incredible things
every minute of every day.
Right. And I feel like sometimes we are like waiting to like, oh, I finally did that. It's really, I could be proud of myself now. And it's like every day. And not even the everyday stuff, but there are some really incredible things we've all done up until this point. And it may have been changing someone's life because you were just there for them.
Yeah, you don't even know it.
Right, exactly. And I think that's important to remember.
Lovely. Yeah.
And then so everyone went around really beautiful sentiments and thoughts on that. And then the second question was a bit more, it was not that it was deeper, it was just a bit of a tougher question. And the question was, what is hard about being a woman? And one of the conversations that I'll speak on this because it was kind of brought up, and this is something that we can all talk about, is the safety aspect of being a woman. Like the hardest part about being a woman is sometimes feeling like you're not safe, whether it is walking outside by yourself or
getting in an Uber with an aggressive Uber driver. Just had that experience.
Yes, exactly.
Never felt so unsafe in my entire life.
Yes. Being in a sexual situation where you're good.
You're not aligned with.
You're not aligned with what your partner's doing, and maybe it's not even a partner, maybe it's a perp. And they're going, and you're trying to navigate that scary situation.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was walking in the woods just recently by your house, and I wanted to take that back trail that you guys take sometimes to go like off of the trail.
Off-roading.
And I was on my way to do that. And there was a guy just kind of sitting on a tree stump. And he had a backpack and he was doing nothing wrong. But in my head, I was like, what if I'm that person? I'm that podcast, that true crime podcast, because this guy had a machete in his backpack and chopped my head off.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really, and I really related to what another woman said there, which I'm not going to share, but it was deep and it was scary. And it's about sexual assault and whatnot. And it was really phenomenal to relate to women that you've never met. And we all have these things in common.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool. It's a weird situation at first, sitting in a circle with a bunch of strangers, if you will. But now I feel like
that's my jam, actually.
Oh God, you would have loved it. Now, you would have loved it. We're going to go again. We're going to go back.
She'll have more of these.
She
right?
will. Yes. Ashley Logan is actually dropping some new branding, and her official business into this women's circle that she's creating is launching soon. So cool. I will share that. But I have to tell you that Maggie and I, who is your friend that if you get into a laughing fit with, it's uncontrollable and you have to who is it?
I have a few, but
okay.
It's three. It's Killeen and Colleen. We get pretty wild, and Jackie Klitschman, we've been known to just absolutely go off the rails and can't bring it back.
So that's what happened.
Favorite kind of laughing. Did you guys get the giggles in the circle?
We did. What happened was, and this was so beautiful because Maggie and I have a long lineage of can't make eye contact with one another because it's game over. Because then
you guys know what each other's thinking. You have best friend ESP.
And we're laughing. So we can't stop. So you can't make the eye contact. I mean, at one point, so what happened was the sound bath is about to begin, which is here we go. Then there was a sound bath to end the evening for healing and whatnot. So I'm like, oh shit, I got to pee. So I go run into the back at this place. It was hosted at Lay Loft. I run into the back. And when I was going into the bathroom, the lights were on. When I came out of the bathroom, it was fucking pitch black because they turned off the lights to set the ambiance. And to head into the bathroom, there's a little step. And I saw one, what's that? No, not yet. A woman was coming into the bathroom. So I saw her coming and I was like, oh, watch your step. And I look at her, I go, watch your step. I don't want you to trip. You go head first into a porcelain sink. And as I said, like, watch your step, I turn around and I don't know how the table got so close to me. I just rammed my body into a table and it cut off my shin. Basically broke my leg.
I
was in so much pain.
No,
but as I hit it, you hear the beautiful sounds of the bolts and I go, oh my God. So I'm having
you wanted to cry. Did you get brought to your knees? Was it a knee buckler?
Michelle,
on
it was
the ground,
throbbing. I could feel it pulsating, and
Nothing
there was a
worse.
bump. My shin, there was a bump. It was horrible. I could feel it through my
the
pants.
most painful place to have a collision.
Yeah. So as I'm walking back to the circle, I see Maggie's head's popped up looking at me, and now we're both crying, laughing. Because I've made this.
You've
big,
injured yourself.
Commotion.
You've disrupted
and
the
now
sound
her and
healing.
she doesn't even know what's going on, but we are in a fit of laughter.
That's
so I had to go and Michelle.
When you have to do that,
I had to cover my face and go. That's what I was going.
In college, this reminds me of a time when this fellow's name was Matt Ream. He lived in the football house across the street from me and my teammate's house. And he had gotten in a little bit of he actually just accidentally he was an innocent bystander in a scuffle at a bar. And he got whipped in the face.
I don't mean to laugh.
No, it's not funny. He got hit in the face with a beer bottle.
Not good. Happened to me.
Knocked out his front tooth.
Yeah, well, I should start a support club.
Lip was about the size of a sumo orange.
Been there,
so
done that.
I went over there, even though those fuckers used to literally go to our house and walk out with our Hinckley and Schmidt bottles on their shoulders, and they'd be like, "Hey guys,"
we'd be
like, "Hey," and they'd leave, and we'd be like, "What the hell?" But I was like, I went over there to check on him. I'm like, Matt, I need to check on. Do you need to go to the hospital? And he had a pillow over his face, and he was like, "Get out, Michelle." And I was like, Matt, let's see how bad it is. And he's like, "You promise not to laugh. You promise not to laugh." I was like, "I swear to God, I will not laugh." Liar. When he removed the pillow, because his lip looked like a bubble on a sourdough loaf that was just filling with air. As soon as I saw it, I lost my shit. I was howling, and he could not laugh, and he was going, ha, 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 I can't, because he couldn't move his lip because it was so damaged.
Split open.
And you want to know what? That is, to this day, one of the hardest times I've ever laughed in my entire life.
And there's nothing at his expense, but there's nothing better.
Nothing better.
And Michelle, at one point I had to turn onto my belly and put my head down.
Are you kidding?
I couldn't stop laughing.
You lost control.
And then I had to pee.
We might not get invited.
And I was nervous I was going to toot. I mean, there was a lot going on. I was like, if I toot, it's a game over. We're done. I had to think. I was like, what can I think about right now? Mm-hmm. I need to change my brain and not think about Maggie laughing and shaking next to me. Dead mom.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say that.
They're like, my mom's dead. What a bummer.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about her on her deathbed because we had just had this
really
conversation.
Needed a hand.
I needed, and it worked, man. But holy,
that is hilarious, Lauren.
But that in itself was so healing.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, a good laugh like that. Michelle, tears,
Lauren,
running.
When I laugh like that hard, and it's usually with the ladies that I just named, I say to them after, I just added a year onto my life.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you, Maggie.
Added a year on.
Let's hop into the Oscars. We watched the Oscars live last night. I've got some highlights I'd like to share with y'all. And Michelle, you're going to kind of
I was looking at your highlights. Yeah, I will. I was looking at your highlights, and I was just
they're all the same.
Myself, they're kind of the same.
Okay.
They're kind of the same.
Big winners for me last night because two of my favorite actors who play, I wouldn't say, let me rephrase this. Two women so deservingly won last night.
Yep.
And that was Divine Joy Randolph, who played an incredible role. I think her name was Molly in the movie, in The Holdover, starring Paul Giamatti. Excellent film. She portrayed a grief-stricken woman, and having gone through grief,
you could
watched
feel it, man.
I have
goosebumps. Heart broke. Same.
Because she goes from empathy to anger to humor. Like, it's just, she showed the roller coaster of what it's like to lose someone you love dearly, her son in this case. And Emma Stone won for Poor Things. It is one of the wildest, weirdest movies I've ever seen. And she basically plays a woman who has a brain of a toddler. it's like a Frankenstein movie. And she goes through the ages of toddler to gets to be like a 18, 19, 20-year-old. And there's a lot of sex, and it talks about, a lot of people reference this movie as like a feminist movie because she kind of takes in control of how she is exploring her sexuality. It's phenomenal. And that movie, you didn't see Poor Things yet, did you?
No, but after last night, and
you have to.
It's on my list. It's
not for kids. Divine Joy Randolph, another banger of a speech. She gives such inspiring speeches.
She's so talented and beautiful. Yes.
She's beautiful.
Moved me to tears before she even walked on stage. Because she was weeping,
and they talked about how she wore her dead grandma's bifocals in the film. And I'm like, what a way to bring to, channel whoever it was that she was channeling for that role for her, as Molly, but her grandma somehow played a role. And she talked about in her speech, I've always been trying to be someone else, someone different. And I finally learned I just need to be me.
Yep.
She just gives these bangers of inspiration. So congrats to Divine and to Emma. So well deserved.
You know who else's speech made me LOL, and I loved it when Billie Eilish was accepting her Oscar.
Love her.
And she was thanking I love
teachers.
She was thanking her teacher, and she was like, to that one teacher, you didn't like me very much.
You didn't like
but
me
you
much.
were good at your job.
You know what? Blessed that she's able to even think
and know that too.
I know. I know.
Loved.
I love Billie Eilish. It's just, I love
but
her
she is
weirdness
under
and her
arrest.
fashion.
She is under arrest.
Michelle is putting her under arrest for her outfit again.
Paddy wagon. I got a couple. We'll save it till the end.
I love that she doesn't go the gown, and she just does what she's comfortable in. She wears what she feels good in. And hopefully that's what everyone's doing. All right, you guys, shout out to Bradley Cooper's mom. I don't know her name, but I love
Lauren,
her.
you're going to be her when you're
You know what? I hope so. I will take that role.
I will rose-colored.
No, blue.
Are they blue? Were they blue
They
last
were
night?
blue. They couldn't have been sky or blue sky.
Oh my God.
They were so blue. She's so cool. And I love how Jimmy Kimmel was like, kindly roasting him, being like, so how many events can you bring your mom to until you're just dating your mom?
Yep. It's pretty awesome that he does that. I love that. I did not know that he wrote, directed, produced, and acted in all of that. I
haven't seen it. Have you?
No, I haven't. And I am one of the only reasons I want to is because the character that he's playing, I forget the gentleman's name, kind of is reminiscent to our paternal grandfather. And he's got the gray hair and the big nose.
You mean physical?
Yes, the physical and kind of like a musician too. It's weird. That's
totally.
Yeah.
Okay. Love Bradley Cooper's mom. She is a hoot. I just love seeing her there, and I hope he just brings her to every award show. I also want to share that seeing Slash. I'm a huge Slash Guns N' Roses fan.
Yep.
I'm Just Ken was one of my favorite Oscar performances ever. Ryan Gosling just brings it. And I love that he has found the humor in this role of Ken, but also he's a great performer.
He's incredible. He is he can do it all. I loved it. I loved the way it started. I loved the way it ended.
He's sitting behind Margot Robbie.
I loved his like Broadway crew of male dancers with their puffy, feathery.
And the Kens from the movie were on stage with him.
Worshipped.
Wonderful.
Didn't want it to end.
Didn't want it to end. And Slash doesn't age. He's just Slash. So cool.
Looking a little waterlogged, but other than that.
Listen, Michelle, be kind. The man who went through rock and roll with Guns N' Roses, okay? Kate McKinnon. Just
her facial expressions.
When she said that she was sending some tasteful nudes to Dr. Spielberg.
And he got them.
I love her. She's one of the funniest women in the industry.
100%.
John Cena's Birkenstocks. Shout out to his Birkenstocks. Why Birkenstocks? Don't know, but I love them.
I love that he had the shoes on. I was kind of like, maybe we should have taken those. Like, I was like,
no, I love that he wore the Birkenstocks.
I was like, was he afraid he was going to step on some glass?
I think it was the thing.
Hysterical. I was like, does he have anything on there? I'm thinking to myself, what if somebody grabs that card from him just
like a real
funny?
streaker?
I would die. I would die. I just love John Cena.
I don't know anything he's ever been in, but after last night, I like he's funny. He's got a great sense of humor. and we need some of that funny kind of stuff with the Oscars.
Yes.
There were some very serious notes. There were some very political speeches, which I was very grateful for. The Ukrainian director who was talking. Wow. And I love Jimmy Kimmel. I think he did a wonderful job. And I love when he clapped back at that guy Trump for when Trump spent his Sunday night bitching about him being the worst host ever. And Jimmy had his clapbacks.
Oh my God.
Well deserved. And then
Isn't it past your jail time?
Isn't it past your jail time?
And I also love the final dig was, I'm so, it seems like he's really focused on important stuff.
He's really focused on the important things. You guys, something to think about. Okay. Hello.
Think about.
If you even need to. And then of course I can't end without acknowledging how handsome Robert Downey Jr. looks.
Fine wine.
Actually, between him, let's go I loved seeing him because they're kind of the same era. Jodie Foster, Robert Downey Jr., two of my faves sitting just there.
Worship. I liked how they gave the awards to the best actors, actresses, and supporting. That was super freaking cool. I loved that each person was giving a personal, they were talking directly to that person. I loved that. That was I would like them to do that more often.
For each supporting and then the lead.
And yes.
Anthony and I agree with you on that. I enjoyed seeing those people because it's what does happen to them? Let's bring them back on stage, and really a cool way to celebrate the nominees and whatnot. Dude, Robert Downey Jr., when he said I want to thank my terrible childhood. I did a little research. I did not realize, I knew he was kind of like a Drew Barrymore. Dude, he was doing drugs with his dad at the age of 6 and 8. He did cannabis for the first time at 6 years old.
Are you kidding?
No, probably did cocaine at 8.
What? Come on.
I know. Well, his dad was a drug addict. And then Robert Downey Jr., and then the amount of years he spent working, not even just being addicted, being a drug addict, then working on it, then relapsing in and out of jail, in and out of rehabilitation centers. And then he finally cleaned it up.
Because he met his beautiful wife. Was he being serious?
No,
is she a veterinarian?
She's not a vet.
But I love that
he was a wounded
he was
dog.
He was a stray that was really in a bad way. And when he said that she loved him back to life, it made my heart stop.
They're adorable. And he looks so good.
Well, that's what a sober living. And
he looks beautiful. And back to Jodie, Jodie and her wife. I just love Jodie. Listen, I watched the red carpet, and Jodie gave some of the most authentic and personable answers. And I can't quite remember all of them. I just really enjoy how she responds to journalists. She just gives very thoughtful responses, and she just seems like a badass, cool, thoughtful,
a really smart person.
Yeah, man.
Big fan.
She's just
always
rad. Oh God, I love her. All right. So Michelle, were there any other bangers that I missed from the Oscars that you want to touch on, or did I cover them all?
You covered most of them. I just have a couple of beefs. My main one was with Ariana Grande, who I like. She makes me laugh.
Was it her dress?
Yes. And I've seen some memes about how she was wearing an old duvet.
Yes, bringing the comforter to the couch.
Not my favorite. I know that the accessories were a thing at the Oscars this year, but I was not there for some of those outfits. I was looking in the audience when she was sitting down, and I'm like,
Puffy.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
But she came out with, is it Cynthia, the woman that she presented with, who's going to be
yes, in
Wicked.
Not in Wicked, in Wicked. Yes,
and I love.
And did she have the green? Was she wearing the green leather?
She looks stunning,
and I loved it.
I loved it too, and so I thought that was kind of cool because Ariana's playing. Is it Glinda, the Good Witch, and then Cynthia? Is it Cindy or Cynthia? Is
I don't know, but she's playing the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah, so that green and pink was a great play.
Love that.
A little promotion of the film that will come out later this year, I think.
I mean, she looked like she floated in on a bubble with that dress. I just have to say.
It was puffy.
No.
I don't like that word, puffy.
Under arrest.
It was puffy. Under arrest.
That's all I got.
Great. I give that to people, I was getting some feedback, that was kind of boring. I give it an A, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Because you want to know what it is? It was all of the things it hit. I love when the musical numbers hit, and a couple of them did. A couple of them I was texting you that I hated. I also, it's the speeches for me. I need to have at least
speeches were good.
3 speeches that
okay, so you
me.
set some expectations for it to be a high. So That's what I like that.
Yes, I don't want to hear you naming all of your people and then walking off stage. It's fine. Go ahead and name them, but tie that up in a pretty bow with a moment, something. Why? What inspires you? What do you have that can inspire somebody else? Speak about something important that's going on in the world. Just make something. I loved the speech with the gentleman that won the award, and I don't remember which one, but he was talking about how he was a black gentleman, a 40-year-old black man. That's what he described himself as or something. And he said that he feels so lucky to be on the stage in this moment, having this opportunity, but he was pleading, please, let's not just make don't try to make just one $40 million a year movie. Make 20, 10
was that for American Fiction?
I don't
remember, but he was talking about like mid-budget films. Like you don't have to be doing just bad, like big banger blockbusters.
Yes. And I love that.
Yes. And he said, I'm a 40-year-old dude who's never made a film before. This has changed my life.
Yes.
Which Michelle.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. That really connected with me. Love.
Yeah. So all around great. So as I went to bed last night, as many of you guys may have seen, because it's all over the internet, we're just going to touch on this briefly because we do get requests for royal thoughts.
Oh yeah.
So there is this, and we touched on it last week, and I kind of was like, let's not do it. But this is what's weird. So Princess Kate is
missing.
She is resting. I don't think she's missing. I think she's resting from a more serious surgery that the royal family is letting on. Do they have to tell us what's going on? No. But it's shrouded in mystery. So what comes when it's shrouded in mystery? Conspiracy. Yeah. I mean, Michelle, the conspiracies out there about
what are they saying?
Kate Middleton has been out of the public eye since like December 25th, since Christmas. I think that was the last time anyone saw her. And then there was an announcement that she won't be seen again, which is also a strange way to put it, or she won't be attending to her royal duties until after Easter, which is March 31st. And no one has seen her except for there was a moment, and there is a paparazzi photo of her driving in the car with her mom. It is weird because it looks so much like Pippa. It looks so much like her sister. But, maybe we're just seeing a different version of Kate, obviously, not a prim and proper in the public eye, wearing her like beautifully tailored jackets and coats with her cute little fascinators. Maybe this is what she looks like when she's just sitting in the front seat of a car and resting from a surgery. But she did, like, if I was going to be a conspiracy theorist, I'd be like, that wasn't Kate. That was Pippa, her sister, pretending it was Kate, whatever. But the conspiracies are, there's a divorce afoot.
Oh my God. The messages online. It's like people are commenting like, oh, William's just like his father. Cheater, abuser. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you guys are really going.
The other two is that she's actually just missing. She is missing. Where is Kate? And the third one is that she is in a mental health facility, receiving treatment for like a breakdown. And then last night, and I kind of was like, whatever. And then last night she posted a photo on their official handle of her with her 3 adorable kids saying like, Happy Mother's Day. And this is a big thing that happened because it doesn't happen a lot, I don't think. And when it does, it raises eyebrows. She posts this photo, and she also issued this photo to news sources. So the American press, Reuters, et cetera, et cetera. And after some looking into the photo, the American press put an immediate kill notice on the photo and said, take the photo back, take the photos down. This photo has been manipulated, meaning that whatever that means. Can mean like they think that someone kind of put Kate in that photo. There's so many weird conspiracies and thoughts going on. I do think people need to kind of get a life because they're like, well, are the trees even green right now in Britain? Because there's green trees in the photo. I'm like, maybe it's an old fucking photo. What are we going on about? I'm like, go and I don't know,
get a life. Go try something new. Find a hobby. I don't know. Maybe go do something good for someone else. Get off the computer.
Yeah, but when you put a kill notice on a photo, and that is, I mean, what do you think of that? The Associated Press is supposedly, and it is one of the most trusted news sources in the world. So when they say like this photo, there's something up with it, we're going to actually send it back to the source, which is Kensington Palace. It's like, it's a big deal.
It's kind of a big deal.
It is a big deal. Now, Kate has issued a comment this morning, which that she says, as an amateur photographer, I do like to experiment with editing my photos. Sometimes, so she's taking the credit she is admitting to editing, photoshopping somehow the photos, because little things like it looked like one of the child's arm wasn't aligned right, or there was like parts of things that were missing. So yeah, I mean, that happens when you edit photos. The Kardashians always get shit for like, you know, the background of their room being thin too, because they've made themselves thin. So now the room looks thin. So she has issued a comment. I feel poorly for this woman because maybe she just had a serious surgery. Maybe it was really serious and she's just trying to fucking get on with her life and rest. And there is this nature of conspiracy, which again, I think kind of get a life. If anything, what I really think is that her surgery was way more intense than they are sharing, which she has every right to not share.
And eventually I'm sure we'll learn something at some point. And
I mean, who knows? Maybe she needed some sort of transplant. Maybe she had a kidney transplant. Maybe she had a hysterectomy. Who the fuck knows? I don't know how long it takes to heal from those things, but it could just be that. So that's that. That's where we are. I don't think there's a huge conspiracy, but I am following along and I will keep our listeners posted.
Good, because you're who we all go to for this information.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Real quick, we'll do a lightning round of reading, watching, listening to. I'm almost done with The Women by Kristen Hanna. I cannot recommend it high enough. Everyone should read it. I'm passing it around to whoever wants it read, and then I want it back on my bookshelf because I think it is probably in my top 7 favorite books I've ever read.
Well, that's amazing because I mean, Kristen Hanna's The Nightingale is one of my tops. So
I like it more than The Nightingale. What? Because I'm like that era, I'm more into that era of time that, you know, like the 60s and 70s, hippies, protests, civil rights, you know, social justice and whatnot. But this means that I need a really good book recommendation.
Yes,
because I'm taking them. So if
you're going to have a hangover after
I
this.
know. I need some. So if anyone's got one, please write in. Michelle, what are you watching?
Okay. I'm not watching necessarily anything on the boob tube right now, but I have been taking in an unbelievable amount of TikToks. I've been following this young man his handle's Call to Leap. And the reason shares investing tips, saving tips, basically this is how I got into this. Okay. My son has now a custodian account. He has been wanting to get involved.
What is a custodian account?
He's too young to have his own
bank account,
brokerage account.
Oh, got it.
Or bank account. He's not 18.
What if he's 18? Okay.
So it's called a custodian account, and that's basically it's owned by us, and he is investing through this account through our financial folks.
Okay.
And he's been, you know, researching a little bit, learning about some stuff. I've had some unbelievable Ryan and I both, like we sat in the kitchen and talked to Will about some stocks he was interested in. And then I listened to him call the financial advisor to talk to him about what he would like to, you know, invest in. Yeah. Because that's how it's going.
Cool.
Yeah. And so they shared some stuff. Will's really into some, he is into some more technical, you know, stuff, and he learned some stuff. But anyway, Call to Leap, because naturally now I'm curious about this topic. And this young man is blowing my mind. Everybody needs to follow him for all kinds of strategies, tips, and money-making hacks that you had no idea you needed to know.
And you have a note here saying, why didn't we learn this shit in school? Because we learned the dumb stuff. I'm sorry, you guys. I shouldn't have said that.
No, I think about it.
Why didn't we learn how to do our taxes?
Why don't these kids know that instead of like what a Pythagorean theorem is, that if they start investing a little bit of money into the stock market or opening a Roth IRA and putting a little bit of money every month that they make into a Roth, they will be millionaires when they're 65 years old.
I know.
But no, we gotta dig. So
no, we gotta work our ass off and just work until we die, basically. And hopefully, they don't put a ban on TikTok, because that's that bill is trying to make it to the desk. So we see what happens there. TikTokers are really upset about that.
It's kind of you can make TikTok the worst fucking thing for you, or
you
can make it the best thing.
It's my favorite app for this kind of shit.
I've got 3 loaves of sourdough proofing on my counter right now. And a lot of that knowledge came from TikTok.
Where do you think I get all my conspiracy theory knowledge?
Well,
No, but I agree with you. But I also get my philosophical good stuff. You guys, I'm watching The Feud. It's Truman
what do you think of
versus
it?
the Swans. I'm enjoying it. It's not a slow burn. It's pretty juicy. It's basically like a vintage version of The Real Housewives of New York City. And it shows how Truman, he is friends with some of the most powerful, influential women in the city at this time. So this is like the 60s, mid 60s. And it follows him. It follows the story of how he destroyed the friendship with all of these women. And so it's literally a battle between the women and Truman. Toxic. I mean, I need to read In Cold Blood. I actually might read that next because I have never read, anything by him. And I need to hear his work. I need to read his work.
I'm good. No. I will not be reading that.
No. Okay. Well, no, not for you then.
No, enjoy. Let me know how it is. I remember when I read it in high school and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, you did read it in high school. Oh, okay. And you didn't like it.
It was like a double murder, right?
Yeah. Two guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I think it was like kind of like the perfect murder kind of, I don't know. Anyways. Okay. So that's that. And then listening, I'm not listening to anything. Michelle, you are listening to...
I'm listening to Outlive, The Science and Art of Longevity by Peter Attia, which you have shared this book. You've talked about this book.
I have it on my shelf. Yeah.
This book was gifted to you. And I see it popping up everywhere. And I was scrolling on Spotify and I thought, you know what? I'm going to take advantage of my free listening to audiobooks. So I busted
Spotify,
it out.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This book is a 4.4 on Goodreads, so it's good. And it was on New York Times best-selling list. It's about living better, longer, and challenging conventional medical thinking on aging. It discusses a new approach to preventing chronic disease and long-term health. I'm on chapter 7. I've got a long way to go. These are some of my key takeaways to this point. We kind of know this already. I'm just glad to know that at least in some of the attempts that I'm making for my own health and well-being, sleep is like numero uno. It is one of the most important things we can do for enhancing our well-being and our lifespan.
Wow.
So
do they go into it? I'm sure they do, but do you have any reasons on why that is? Why is sleep so important?
I think he didn't really go into that, or at least I'm not recalling some of the importance there. But it is in our sleep state where our body like renews, resets, rejuvenates. Like our brain needs rest.
Yes.
I then talked to him on the Today. I talked to him. I would love to talk. How's he doing? He's great. I would love to talk to him actually.
Yeah,
because I would love to ask him some other questions. But he's saying that sleep is finally getting the respect that it deserves. And so there's that. Also, these are the basic things right now. Moving our body. And he really goes into the breakdown of why that is. And those are the kind of things that I think people aren't really totally understanding, which is why I think that this is such an important read. But there's also other things like he's talking about the cholesterols and the APO5 gene. And this is a simple test that we can get checked that we have to ask for. And it costs $20, but it will tell a little bit of a story if you got a little cardiovascular thing going on before it's too late.
Okay.
I know I'm going off on this, but I just want to leave you with one thought.
Tell us.
He talks about basically we're going to die one of two ways. We're going to die fast or we're going to die slow. And
like fast, like hit by a car.
Like fast, like hit by a car, or like fast, like a heart attack.
Okay, got it.
But a heart attack isn't just a random act.
No,
of health.
It's leading up to.
It's led up to. It's been brewing for a long time. But what we have in our country is we have a lot of older people that are living what he calls their marginal decade. And our mom had a marginal decade. It's that last decade of life where you're not living. You're alive, but you're not living. And this marginal decade is a decade where you aren't able to do the things you love.
It's not optimal living.
No, you're not traveling. You're not hiking. You're not gardening because you're not able to, those types of things. And his whole point of this book is to reshift everyone's mind into a proactive approach to their health. There are things that we can do to level it up. And I love this, and I'll leave you and the listener with this. We do not have to die the way our parents did.
I need to hear that. I thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I needed to hear that today.
You're welcome.
I've shared with someone before about this book. I know many people who have read this book and say the exact same thing. It should be a 4 it should be like a 5-star,
It should be a book that you read in like high school.
Yeah, it really should.
Like that should be your health class book.
I get nervous about reading books like this because I get triggered. I get health anxiety triggers where I'm like, okay, and I need to, I'm working on reframing my brain to be more proactive and less scared about what I might find out and seeing those findings. Oh, I can use those to help me instead of like doom and gloom.
Well, I'll leave you with this thought. He says there's greater risk in doing nothing. So if you're fearful enough to kind of avoid and feel like I'm healthy enough, I do eat my vegetables and I exercise.
Right. That's kind of like
there's risk, but there is risk in not doing a little bit more. And he's giving all of these tips on different tests that you can go to your doctor and ask about. I'll keep you posted on the end, but it is a must read.
You can't see it, but on my whiteboard right here, it says March top priority. And I've got to get my chart in order because I feel like some things are not connecting. I want everything to be cohesive. And it says new doctor. Yeah. So
that's a big one.
It's a big step for me, but this is helping. So thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, that book's going to be sold out after our listeners get a hold of it.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be awesome if we could get him on the podcast? Because I want to talk to him about cholesterol, our mom's brain health condition. She was taking a medication that prohibited this, but he's saying you need this and there's other things you got to check. So much.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
All right, you guys, let's end this with our usual thought of the episode. What are you doing for your cozy, mindful well-being?
I'm going to change mine and I'm going to tell you something different than what I have written on our notes.
Please do.
It's a PSA. I got my mammogram and that it's you go in, lady with cold hands handles your breast. Coldest hands ever.
You think they do a little bit of this beforehand?
Not this one. Nope. They just put little stickers on your nipples and then they smash your tit into a pancake and tell you to hold your breath when you're not ready and you don't think you can.
Yeah.
Honestly, just go get your tests, gals and guys, whatever those might be. Peace of mind. Check it off your list. Go enjoy your life.
Lovely, lovely. Good. Proud of you for getting all that stuff done.
Thanks.
I am going to go with kind of what I was sharing at the top of the hour, that like doing things that once were out of my comfort zone, but really learning new things and also meeting women I've never met before. There's so much healing and guidance and inspiration. And it really feels good to sit around in a circle and realize that we're all interconnected somehow.
Hell yeah.
So that really filled my cup of cozy, mindful well-being. And I
love that.
Yeah. And I hope to do it again soon. It's a very unique experience sitting in a healing circle, but I left there feeling rejuvenated, healed, validated in certain instances. Remarkable. So I'll have more information on that and our friend Ashley who leads those. But other than that, you guys, we hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any things you want to touch base with us on, you know what to do. Contact at thesisterprojectblog.com. And as always, stay cozy, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's cozy conversation. For more of The Sister Project, check us out on Instagram at @thesisterproj and our website, www.thesisterprojectblog.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and maybe even drop us a review. Until next time, stay cozy.